Last time we built the layout for the pirate hideout, so this time it's time to decorate a little bit and also start on the ship. So as you can see, we are at the bar area right now, and this would be obviously their cook's area, so he would not be very organized. He loves cooking, so it would be very cozy, it would have food always, but it would not be organized or like aesthetic looking kitchen. This area, this little corner, was the worst time. I struggled with it for like 2 hours the night I was building this, and then I went to sleep, and then I woke up, and then I knew exactly what to put there. I was super annoyed at myself for figuring it out like during the night. I struggled for a long time with it, but it turned out really cute in the end. I think all of my ideas prior to that were much worse. Then eventually it hit me. I was like, okay, I want it to be sort of like a table where they plan their next trip somewhere to get more treasure. So yeah, that was the idea for that corner. First, I was thinking like, okay, maybe they would have like a band there. Maybe the captain would be just doing his work there. Blah blah blah. But I wanted to use one specific table inside the actual ship, so I was not able to use that. So it kind of ruined the plans, but I think this area looks really cute in the end. Then I wanted the area to be like sort of dark, but not too dark. Just make it like cozy, sort of like cave-like. And this is their hideout where they spend most of their time. They bring their treasure here. This is sort of where they live. But since we are in the, universe of WoW, I was thinking that one of the pirates would be a mage. So this will make sense later, okay, I promise. But one of them would be a mage, and he would be able to portal them around to different places. They would have a different ship. Like, also, they just bring their treasure here because, well, I'm gonna spoil it now. Their ship here is a shipwreck. Because I was just struggling a lot with the decor limit. As you can see, we're at 400 now. Did not really end up working out that good for the full ship build. I think that what I did ended up looking much better. Unfortunately, I had to scrap some ideas and then do something else, which is okay. I think it ended up being a blessing in disguise. First, I was like, oh my god, this whole build is a disaster. It's a shipwreck. But then I actually made it a shipwreck, so it works out better that way. Here I'm just putting some details into this. I just wanted to place some items, so I had placed something in case the decor budget was going to be kept while building the ship. So here you can see the layout of the ship. That was my plan. In the end, I ended up using just the middle room, and the two other rooms are just there to sort of allow me to place things through the wall. First, I was planning to have one of the rooms be sort of where they keep their treasure. I think the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie where they go and take those coins, that cursed the pirates to be like these skeletons in moonlight and stuff. I was like thinking that cave. I really wanted to create that, but then unfortunately, well, I had to let go of that idea. And then the front would have been just like a night sky with like stars in the sky and stuff. But yeah, did not end up working that way, but it's okay. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And also, since they are going to be adding to the decor limit anyway, it's not gonna be really that big of a deal. Like, maybe I might end up keeping this build until then and finish it the way that I imagined. We'll see about that. It's highly unlikely I'll do that because I really want to make another project soon, but yeah. Or I can rebuild it in a different way. Maybe I'll build their other ship. We'll see. But also, I'm going to Disneyland, so I'm gonna be going to Pirates of the Caribbean ride probably like 10 times again, and then actually eating at the Pirates of the Caribbean restaurant for the first time for my birthday. I am so excited. As you can see, that's how I built the ship. So I had to think about the ship is like bowl shape, right? Right? Like from the front when you see a ship, it's like bowl. Also, the ship, as you saw on the floor plan, it's not like just straight walls. Like, it's not like a front of the ship, straight walls, and then a back. It's like, curved. So I had to do a lot of angling, a lot of adjusting. It took a lot of time. I think I built the walls of the ship for like 2-3 hours in total. Obviously, I said this is a shipwreck. So right now it's looking pretty, normal. It does not look broken. Yeah. I find it much easier to build something in the state that it's supposed to be and then break it. So it was much easier for me to then place the rocks like into the build, like that would have like collapsed on top of the ship or like through the walls and stuff. Here I wanted to just add a little bit of detail to the waterfall area, so I added some barrels and some one barrel and one crate, but like you get the idea. I wanted there to be some sort of a story, like yeah, these things just like flew off the ship when they crashed here, and then I had to keep in mind what direction would they be crashing from. So then I had to think about my story, like why did they crash in this random cave? And then I was thinking, oh, there's the cool portal item, the one you get for pre-ordering Midnight, the Void one specifically. I think the Silver Moon-ish one would have looked pretty good as well, but I like the Void one better, and it sort of looks like a maelstrom. So then that made my story. They ended up in a maelstrom, and then that somehow just ended up taking them to a random cave somewhere, and now they're stuck there. They did have their, you know, mage pirate soul. They're able to go elsewhere and plunder more, and they use this space as, you know, a place where they live when they're not on the ship, or when they need to sort out some stuff, they can keep their treasure here. You know, I find it so much easier to build whenever I have a story for my builds and I like have some sort of an idea who lives there, what do they do, what do they like, what is the objective of this thing, like what happened here. Asking questions like, why am I placing this here? Like, does this make any sense? Does this look like the build is alive? That's the way I build. I find it so much easier, especially because like if I had it my way, I would be building cottages non-stop, just plants everywhere, like the night elf like houses. That would be all I would do. But because I do want to build other things and I want to get better at building, I keep making stories. I like pirates, I like Pirates of the Caribbean, I like the pirate fantasy in general, so I thought that would be a really good way to learn a different building style as well. So I'm not making just something really like cozy and pretty. Now I'm making something that's really broken, and I had to actually like learn to look at the build from different angles and be like, okay, well, if this landed here, like why would this have landed here? Like what hit it, for example, if that makes any sense. Maybe it can help someone else build. I think it's really important to kind of like not kill your motivation when building. Like when you have a story and you can develop that story while you're building and think about the people who live there, or like build something for someone else in a way, not yourself, not your personality, but someone else's, it's much easier to actually like come up with fresh ideas. I find it to be that way at least. But yeah, I can't think of anything else than the Outdoor Boys right now, because I was watching the Outdoor Boys while I was building that part. I was just watching it on the side and placing these things, and now I can only think about like Alaska and camping and fishing, and yeah, I don't know. I associate builds with like what I'm watching at the time, so maybe I should have been watching like some pirate movie, like Pirates of the Caribbean or something. I don't know. I guess it's a good way to also get the vibe right in your build if you're listening to music that sort of matches that, or watching something that matches your idea. Like, I think that would be a really good way to go about it as well. But yeah, here I'm just trying to finish the ship so that that's done, and then next time I can break it even more. I just had to make sure I have the base of the ship, everything done before the decor cap gets, like, before I hit the decor cap, basically. That was the idea here. But we're kind of coming to the end of the speed build here, so I'm gonna be posting the next part, the final part, really soon, and I hope you guys have a lovely Christmas and happy building!